In the rugged wilderness of Lapland, we meet Atami Korpi, a silent prospector whose actions speak louder than words. Accompanied by his loyal dog, Atami tirelessly sifts through the cold dirt in search of gold, his solitary quest underscored by the distant hum of warplanes. One day, his determination pays off. His fingers, dirt-caked and calloused, brush against a small nugget of gold. The sight of it sparks an indescribable joy in him, a single beacon of hope amidst the pervasive gloom of war. Over the next few nights, Atami continues his search and strikes a veritable gold mine, causing him to let out a cheer that echoes across the desolate landscape. Gathering his precious find, he begins his arduous journey to the nearest bank. As Atami traverses the harsh wilderness, his path crosses with a Nazi platoon led by the ruthless Bruno Heldorf. The platoon, efficiently navigating the unforgiving terrain, is escorting a group of captive women. Suddenly, a small detachment of Nazis stumbles upon Atami and his loyal dog. The air becomes thick with tension as the Nazis demand to inspect Atami's belongings. In a desperate bid to protect his companion, Atami sends his dog into the shadows, provoking the Nazis to open fire. The lead Nazi discovers Atami's gold, his face breaking into a malicious smirk as he taunts Atami, claiming the gold for himself. But Atami isn't one to surrender easily. He retaliates swiftly, plunging his knife into the Nazi's head. A violent skirmish erupts, with Atami fiercely eliminating the remaining Nazis. With his gold secure, Atami resumes his journey through the wilderness. However, the grim discovery of their fallen comrades sends a wave of shock through Heldorf and his goons. They find a piece of gold left behind, a clue that sets them hot on Atami's trail. As they give chase, gunfire echoes across the wilderness. Atami's horse, driven to its limit, outruns the bullets, but they soon find themselves in a dangerous minefield. An explosion rings out, and Atami's horse falls, leaving him alone in the face of the relentless Nazi platoon. Cornered by Heldorf and his men, Atami's eyes dart around, landing on a nearby mine. With a swift, calculated throw of a rock, he sets off the mine, causing a massive explosion that temporarily obscures him from the Nazis' view. Unfazed, the Nazis unleash a hail of bullets towards him. Heldorf, cold and calculating, sends a young Nazi to check on Atami's status, only to meet his end in a fiery explosion as Atami cleverly triggers another mine. The chaotic dance of death continues, with Atami successfully leading two more Nazis into deadly traps. All the while, he fends off their gunfire, using a makeshift shield for protection. As this unfolds, a brave prisoner, Aino Mimosa Willamo, steps forward and volunteers to advance alongside another woman. The tension is palpable as they make their move, the chapter closing with the promise of more thrilling events to unfold. As the echoes of gunfire and explosions start to fade, the Nazis regroup. One of Heldorf's comrades brings him a piece of evidence recovered from the battle site, Atami's dog tags. Recognition flickers in his eyes as he realizes they are dealing with a figure of legend, a man known for his formidable skills and a harrowing past marked by the loss of his family to the Russians. Atami is a survivor of the Winter War, and tales of his ruthlessness have spread far and wide, earning him the chilling moniker of Koshai, or the Immortal. Heldorf, a man of pragmatic foresight, sees the unfolding situation as an opportunity. He knows the Nazi Party's reign is nearing its end, and Atami's gold could be their ticket to a peaceful retirement. He orders his men to resume their pursuit of Atami, and the hunt is back on. Meanwhile, Atami, having evaded the Nazis, seizes an opportunity to hide under one of their vehicles as the convoy moves past. He cleverly cuts a gas line to throw off the Nazis' attack dogs. His plan almost succeeds until the smell of gas alerts the Nazis. They manage to capture Atami, and in a desperate attempt to escape, he ignites the gas, setting himself ablaze before diving into a nearby lake. The Nazis fire at him, but Heldorf, ever the strategist, waits for him to resurface for air. He sends 3 of his men after Atami, setting the stage for the next chapter of this relentless chase. Emerging from the icy waters, Atami finds himself in a town that bears the horrific marks of the Nazis' scorched earth tactics. Buildings are reduced to rubble, roads are destroyed, and the air hangs heavy with the smell of charred remains. It's a chilling reminder of the horrors of war. In a cruel twist, Heldorf uses Atami's dog against him. He attaches a stick of dynamite to the dog and sends it running toward its master. Atami, reunited with his companion, quickly realizes the danger and frantically removes the dynamite, but he isn't quick enough to avoid the ensuing explosion, which throws him off his feet. Heldorf, along with his goons Wolf, Jack Doonan, and Schutze, Oni Tomilla, seize this opportunity. They find Atami, disoriented and weakened by the explosion, and proceed to tie him up by the neck, intending to hang him. They steal the remainder of his gold, leaving him to his grim fate. His captors, assuming him to be dead, leave him behind. However, Atami's resilience shines through yet again. He uses a piece of shrapnel from the explosion to hook onto a nearby pole, just enough to keep himself from suffocating, setting the stage for the next phase of Atami's struggle against his Nazi adversaries. As dawn breaks, the desolate landscape is disturbed by the arrival of 2 German pilots in need of fuel. They stumble upon Atami, still hanging by his neck and presumed dead. However, as they approach to mock their defeated enemy, Atami springs to life. He uses the element of surprise to his advantage, stabbing one pilot pilot to death and knocking the other unconscious. Upon awakening, the second pilot finds himself in an unwelcome role, an unwilling chauffeur tasked with flying Atami closer to the Nazi convoy. Atami carries out his plan with grim resolve. He executes the second pilot in mid-flight, hanging his lifeless body outside the plane for the Nazis below to see. Meanwhile, the Nazi convoy, unaware of the storm that's about to hit them, continues its journey towards Norway, with the stolen gold their key to freedom. Atami catches up with them, and this time he isn't alone. He arms Aino and the other captive women with guns, turning the hunted into the hunters. The tables have turned and chaos ensues. Atami pulls one Nazi onto the road, leaving him to be crushed under a tank. The women, no longer prisoners but warriors, let loose a barrage of bullets, picking off the Nazis one by one. Amidst the chaos, Atami commandeers a tank, pulls Wolf out and leaves him to the mercy of the vengeful women. The tide of the battle has changed, and the hunters are now the hunted. As the dust settles, Heldorf and Schütze seek a quick escape. They make their way to their pilot, hoping to flee with the stolen gold. But in a cruel twist of fate, Heldorf betrays Schütze, shooting him in the head and leaving with the pilot alone. He believes he has finally escaped, but Atami is not far behind. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Atami catches up to them, commandeering a tank and firing at the escaping plane. His aim is true, and the pilot is hit. In a last-ditch effort, Atami uses his pickaxe to hook onto the plane as it takes off, defying the odds in his relentless pursuit of justice. Inside the plane, Heldorf confronts Atami. A brutal fight ensues, with Heldorf gaining the upper hand using a static line to slice into Atami's face. But Atami bides his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. He manages to attach the static line to a bomb, dropping it out of the plane with Heldorf attached, ensuring his enemy meets an explosive end. Atami, battered and bleeding, pulls himself into the cockpit, finding the pilot dead. He braces for impact as the plane spirals out of control and crashes. Emerging from the wreckage, Atami, beaten but unbowed, drags himself through a swamp, the weight of his hard-won victory heavy on his shoulders. Through sheer willpower, he finds a motorcycle and is reunited with his loyal dog, his only companion in this chaotic world. Together, they set off for Helsinki. Atami, still reeling from the battle, enters a bank in Helsinki. His disheveled appearance, still smeared with the grime and blood of his ordeal, draws stares from everyone in the building. Undeterred, he strides to the counter, carrying the gold he fought so hard for. Dumping it all onto the counter, he breaks his silence for the first time in the movie. In a voice as gruff as the scars that mar his body, he requests large bills, remarking that they won't be such a bitch to carry. Subscribe to CinemaScoop so you never miss the latest movie explanations, reviews, and analyses. Thanks for watching.